How would you define rape culture?
Okay, that's like a hard question. I feel like it's like being normalized, I guess, and like I guess rape culture is like saying like guys will be guys, and like just saying like that if women are like showing their like legs or something, like they deserve it, and just like stuff like that.
Do you think that specific ideas in rape culture apply to fraternities or sororities?
I do think that like frats get like like categorized as it just because like, oh, they're a frat, like they're a frat guy, like they can't like they'll like I just feel like they just have like a unfair picture, a lot of them, for it.
Does your sorority support any philanthropies that work to prevent violence against women?
We My sorority represents like confidence in women, but we're not really like violence against women. So
How do you define rape culture?
Rape culture. I guess like we live in a society that thinks like when rape happens, like it's sometimes the victim's fault, not always the offender's fault. We tend to like victim blame a lot, so I feel like that's like a huge part of like our rape culture.
How do you think that rape culture applies to fraternities or sororities?
I think it's a very strong presence because like a lot of fraternities have parties that like sorority girls go to, so I feel like they're a huge part of that, and they play into like a lot of the, just like when people think about rape and stuff, they think about, oh, it happened at a frat party, so that's why that happened. So like they don't really give it a good explanation.
How do you define rape culture?
Okay, so for me, rape culture is any type of speech or actions that protects rapists. So we're thinking about like things like blaming victims, saying like giving excuses for rapists, things like that are rape culture. So if you say like, well, she was dressed this way, or well, she was drunk, that's rape culture because you're allowing rapists to go free and give them excuses for what they were doing. Or if you say, like, well, the rapist was drunk, he didn't know what he was doing. I think that's rape culture because it's allowing these ideas that doing these things just happen, and they don't. It happens by people that mean to do them purposefully and want to hurt women, and men too. I think rape is not about sex. Rape is not a thing that just happens naturally. It is about power and wanting to dominate another person. So I think rape culture is definitely just allowing that to happen and acting like it is a natural and normal thing and giving excuses for the people that do it.
Do specific rape culture ideas apply to fraternities or sororities?
Yeah, so I think the Greek community is very connected to each other. We want to protect each other, we protect our ideals and each other, and I think what happens is that Greek women tend to protect Greek men. So they say like, oh, she was drunk at a party, she didn't know what she was doing, she just feels guilty. I think those kind of words happen a lot. But I think if Greek women instead said, oh, that's not right, I should be stepping up for my sisters in my Panhellenic community and other communities, we can kind of stop those things. And then I think inside fraternities, we see this culture of you are entitled to women, you are a Greek male, and therefore you are like superior, and you should be able to date these women and have whatever woman you want. So I think that's kind of the rape culture ideals we see inside our communities.
Does your sorority support any philanthropies that work to prevent violence against women?
Yeah, so Kappa Delta supports Prevent Child Abuse America, and though it's not for women, it's for children. And so I think we think a lot about child abuse being emotional and physical, but there's also a lot of sexual abuse. So just being aware that these things happen to all age ranges, to all genders, to all different kind of races and different communities is, though not generally focused on women, allows us to understand that like this is something that happens, something that we need to talk about, and something that we need to focus on in our communities so we can make sure that we protect those that we love around us.
How would you define rape culture?
I definitely think rape culture is a hush-hushed topic nowadays. I don't think that it's talked about enough. I don't think people are educated enough on rape culture, and it's definitely something that needs to be talked about more.
Do specific rape culture ideas apply to fraternities or sororities?
I definitely think they do. I don't think necessarily... Well, I think sororities are probably more victimized in rape culture, and fraternities are more of the, I don't know, the people that are
doing the action. Now that's just a stereotype, but I definitely think that that's what's viewed in rape culture if you put rape culture and Greek life together. I think that's what the outcome would be.
Does your sorority support any philanthropies that prevent violence against women?
Well, we do. We have the Girl Scouts of America, and we help them with confidence and stuff. We definitely could do workshops with preventing violence. We could probably do like a self-defense class with them.
How would you define rape culture?
I guess maybe the way the culture defines rape. I don't really know.
Do specific rape culture ideas apply to fraternities or sororities?
I would say yes, because we're still students. I mean, maybe it's a little more serious considering of all like the stuff Greek life does, but I mean, I feel like it's probably pretty similar.
How would you define rape culture?
I guess I would say it's the casualization of how rape is talked about.
Do you think specific culture ideas apply to sororities and fraternities?
Sororities probably not so much, but fraternities, I feel like if you tell a brother or something that a girl was drunk and you took her to bed, they would probably high-five you. But with a sorority, if a girl told another girl, like, hey, I got drunk and this guy took me to his room and I don't know what happened or this happened, then they would, freak out and call it rape.
How would you define rape culture?
I would define rape culture as just not giving consent to any kind of sexual activity, not necessarily vaginal intercourse, but it can be anally, orally, pretty much anything where you say no, doesn't matter how you say it.
Okay. Do you think specific culture ideas apply to like fraternities and sororities?
I think that when it comes to consent, I just believe that the letters, like, it doesn't make us any different or make us any, I want to say, like, it doesn't exclude us from the rules. Like, we're still people, and if we say no, then it's no.
Okay. All right. Does your sorority support any philanthropies that work to prevent violence against women?
We don't have any specific philanthropies that do that, but as an organization of women, I mean, most definitely, like, just that in general, we help support violence against women because it involves us, so most definitely.
Thank you so much. How would you define rape culture?
I feel like rape culture is kind of a subsidy of hookup culture that we live in today in our 21st century, in the second decade as we are. I feel like it's very prevalent on college campuses. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think specific culture ideas apply to frats?
Yeah, definitely. Being a fraternity, I feel like it's, from a perception view, it's kind of like, it's kind of perceived that you always have sexual interest in hand. So I feel like applying it to rape culture, I feel like when you, okay, so if I was to go to somebody and say, hey, I'm in a fraternity, just offer it, in their mind, I feel like they would perceive that as me trying to make a sexual move on them. And it's kind of like, it's a perception thing, just perceiving people in fraternities and sororities as sort of like sexual predators. And, I mean, it's well deserved. I would say that definitely.
Does your fraternity support philanthropies that work to prevent violence against women?
Well, my fraternity, we kind of support anything that we're willing to, like somebody in a certain chapter is willing to do. So I feel like in the future, we would definitely be willing to support any philanthropies that prevent rape culture.
Okay. Rape culture to me is a culture of society that is okay with sexual abuse or sexual assault. Okay, I think rape culture with fraternity is a two-sided answer, yes and no, because yes, there are some fraternities that are known to actually like sexually abuse or assault women, and it's not okay. But I think that other people, like society today, sees all fraternities as that big stereotype. And for me personally, my organization, I know there's not a single guy in there that would like be willing to do something like that. And I think the way like you control stuff like that is to know who you're going to give a bid to, and know like what guy you're letting into the organization. And I think to stop that, there needs to be a better eye on the people that try to come into fraternities.